Somewhere in an American forest right now, there is a trail that people walk into and never walk out of. Some of them leave behind their tents, their shoes, even their car keys. Search teams comb the woods for weeks and find nothing. And the strangest disappearances of all follow a pattern so bizarre that one investigator wrote 9 books trying to explain it. These are the 10 most mysterious forests in America.
Welcome back to Untold 10. If you're into stories that sound fake but are 100% real, do me a favor, smash that subscribe button and hit the bell so you don't miss a single one. All right, counting down from 10.
Number 10. The Pisgah National Forest, North Carolina. Deep in these misty Appalachian woods, people have reported strange glowing lights for over 100 years. Not far away, over Brown Mountain, floating orbs of light appear at night, drift along the ridge, and vanish. The Cherokee described these lights in their legends centuries ago. Scientists have studied them for decades and still can't fully explain them. But the lights are only part of it. Pisgah's dense rhododendron thickets are so thick that hikers can lose the trail just a few feet from the path. People have wandered into these woods and simply never come back. The forest is beautiful, green, and endless, and that endlessness is exactly what makes it so easy to disappear inside. Number 9. Olympic National Park, Washington. This is one of the only temperate rainforests in America, a place where the trees are draped in thick green moss and the fog rolls in so heavy you can't see 20 feet ahead. It is stunningly beautiful, and it is deeply strange. On a single night in January 2018, more than 100 trees were violently ripped out of the ground in one area. Meteorologists checked the records, and there was no storm, no unusual weather, nothing to explain it. Campers the evening before reported hearing a deep, low rumble roll through the forest. No earthquake was recorded. To this day, nobody knows what uprooted over 100 trees in a single night, and hikers have vanished in this maze of moss and fog, swallowed by a forest that seems almost alive. Number 8. The Adirondacks in New York. 6 million acres of dense wilderness, thousands of lakes, and endless trails where your phone signal dies and your GPS gives up. Every single year, people go missing in these woods, but what makes the Adirondacks so unsettling isn't just the disappearances, it's the stories of people who come back. Hikers have reported walking in a straight line for hours, only to end up miles from where they thought they were going, as if the forest quietly turned them around. Rangers who know these woods say there are pockets of the Adirondacks that feel genuinely disorienting, where experienced hikers lose all sense of direction. It is one of the largest protected wildernesses in the country, and parts of it have never been fully mapped. Number 7. The White Mountains, New Hampshire. Home to Mount Washington, which holds the record for some of the most violent and unpredictable weather on Earth. The wind here has been clocked at over 230 miles per hour. But the terror of the White Mountains isn't just the weather, it's how fast it changes. Hikers describe a clear, sunny afternoon turning into a blinding whiteout in minutes. People have vanished after storms rolled in without warning, and some who've hiked here say that when the fog comes down, the forest seems to swallow sound itself. You can shout and hear nothing back. Rangers warn that conditions in these mountains shift faster than almost anywhere else in America, and the woods have a long, dark history of hikers who walked in and were never found. Number 6. The Bennington Triangle, Vermont. This is one of the most chilling spots in America. Between 1945 and 1950, at least 5 people vanished without a trace from the forests around Glastonbury Mountain. One of them was a college student named Paula Weldon, who walked into the woods one afternoon in 1946 and was never seen again. A search was launched, and it turned up absolutely nothing. No body, no clothing, no clue. The disappearances were so strange and so clustered that the area earned a nickname, the Bennington Triangle. The local legends go back much further. The Native Abenaki people reportedly avoided this land for generations, telling stories of a place where the ground itself would swallow people whole.
Number 5. Crater Lake, Oregon. Formed when an ancient volcano collapsed in on itself, Crater Lake is the deepest lake in the United States, filled with impossibly blue water and ringed by steep, isolated cliffs. It is one of the most beautiful places in the country, and it has a dark reputation. Over the decades, hikers and campers have vanished here, sometimes leaving their cars in the parking lot and their gear at their campsites as if they simply stepped away and evaporated. The terrain is brutal, wrapped in sudden fog and early snow, and the native Klamath people considered this lake so sacred and so dangerous that they refused to even look at it, believing powerful spirits lived beneath the surface.
Number 4. Mount Shasta in the Shasta Trinity Forest, California. This towering volcanic peak might be the strangest place on this entire list. In 1931, a massive forest fire was racing up the mountain when a wall of fog appeared out of nowhere and stopped the fire dead in its tracks. Here's the part nobody can explain. The line where that fog stopped lined up almost exactly with a time zone boundary. That has never been accounted for. For over a century, people have reported seeing tall, robed figures walking the slopes and then vanishing. There are legends of a hidden city inside the mountain, sightings of strange lights, and reports of UFOs near the peak. Native tribes considered Mount Shasta the sacred center of creation. Today, it draws people from all over the world who believe something about this mountain simply isn't natural.
Number 3. Tenaya Canyon, Yosemite, California. Locals have a nickname for this place. They call it the Bermuda Triangle of Yosemite. According to legend, a Native American chief named Tenaya placed a curse on this canyon in the 1800s after U.S. forces tried to force his people off their land. Ever since, the canyon has seen a disturbing number of accidents, injuries, and disappearances. Even John Muir, the legendary naturalist who practically lived in these mountains, was mysteriously knocked unconscious here and could never explain what happened. The canyon is so dangerous that the Park Service actively discourages people from entering it. And in a park as enormous as Yosemite, where people vanish and are never found, Tenaya Canyon stands out as the one place even seasoned explorers refuse to go alone. Number 2. The Great Smoky Mountains on the border of Tennessee and North Carolina. This is the most visited national park in America, and it hides one of its darkest mysteries. In 1969, a 6-year-old boy named Dennis Martin was on a family camping trip. He and some other kids decided to play a harmless prank, hiding in the bushes to jump out and surprise their parents. Dennis ran behind a bush, and he was never seen again. What followed was the largest search in the park's history. Over 1,000 people combing more than 50 square miles of forest. They found absolutely nothing. Not a shoe, not a scrap of clothing. Over the decades, more people have vanished in these misty mountains under equally baffling circumstances, disappearing just a few feet from the trail, in a forest so dense the sunlight barely reaches the ground. And finally, number 1. This isn't a single forest, it's a pattern that connects all of them, and it's the strangest thing on this list. A former police detective named David Paulides started noticing something no one else had. Across America's forests and national parks, people were disappearing in ways that made no sense. He documented hundreds of cases, and the details kept repeating. Search dogs that suddenly lost the scent. People found miles in terrain they couldn't possibly have crossed. Bodies discovered in areas that had already been searched over and over. Children found alive at impossible elevations, saying they weren't afraid. Many victims vanished right at the edge of a clearing or near water, and almost always in bad weather. Paulides called it the missing 411 phenomenon. He never claims to know the answer, he just lays out the pattern and lets you decide. The National Park Service says these are ordinary tragedies of rugged terrain, but thousands of these cases remain open, unsolved, and unexplained. And every year in America's forests, the list quietly gets longer. So which one would you actually camp in overnight? Team Bennington Triangle, where the ground is said to swallow people whole? Or Team Missing 411, the pattern nobody can explain? Drop it in the comments. And while you're down there, tell me what hidden American mystery I should dig into next. I read every single comment, every one. Subscribe, hit the bell, and I'll catch you in the next one.